everybody, it's your boy CoolGoBoy149, and today we'll be doing a video review of the Nerf Rival Pathfinder, a Nerf Rival blaster that is in the Nerf Rival Precision line. Try saying that 10 times fast. Today we'll be doing a review, which will be the first half of the video, of this blaster alone, and then we will be doing a comparison to this blaster, which is the Nerf Rival Forerunner, which I have already done a review of on this channel. So anyways, let's get on to the review. Now, if you haven't seen the previous video on the Forerunner, I'm just going to give you a brief introduction to the Nerf Rival Precision line. The Nerf Rival Precision line basically focuses on accuracy using Nerf Rival. They come with these new blue Nerf Rival rounds. They are considered the accurate or AccuStriker, whatever you want to call it, Rival rounds. And they come in these new snazzy, cool, blue-colored blasters that usually, and in this case, come with adjustable sights, hop-up units in the barrel, and some form of accurate priming and aiming. In this case, it's pump action. In the Forerunner's case, it is also pump action. The only thing that's different about this blaster that doesn't follow the tradition for the rest of the line is that it does not have a hop-up unit that's white on the top that vents out air like the Forerunner, which will make it so your balls don't spin as much in the air, meaning that you can get tail-finned balls, especially when shooting outside, and you will also not have air filtered through the blaster when priming and shooting. Now let's start with an overview of this blaster. So up front you have this cool green sight. This is the front sight, this is the rear sight. The rear sight's adjustable, the front sight's not, but it's a nice neon green. All of the blasters have this type of sight, and it looks very cool, and it works very well for what it's trying to do. Also up front you have the pump handle. This is how you prime the blaster. It is a spring-powered blaster. To prime it, you do that, and then you can fire it by clicking the trigger. It's pretty standard, no slam fire, none of the accurate blasters have slam fire, which I actually disagree with. I think they should have it. I get why they don't. Of course, slam fire is less accurate, but you get a faster fire rate by being able to hold down the trigger and slam it, but I digress. Other than that, there's really nothing else up to do with the front other than the priming handle. In the middle, you have the magazine released in the magazine. It comes with a special 12-round magazine that has a rubber loop on the back of it. Mine is already broken. If you can't see on the camera, I'll try finding it. It broke already. But other than that, it's a traditional 12-round magazine. This blaster can take any Rival 12 or 7-round magazines by just inserting it right there, and then you're ready to go. And a Rival magazine is pretty simple. Basically, you take a Rival round, you insert it into the magazine, you insert up to 12. That's how Rival mags work. Above the magazine area, you have the adjustable sights. Now, the adjustable sights on this blaster not only go up and down, but also go left and right, which feels very cool to adjust. But yeah, they have two gears, one on this side and one on the other, that you can spin to move the aimer up and down. Now, usually I go somewhere in the middle, and if you aim towards the blaster, get it perfectly centered. Yeah, I'm roughly in the middle when it comes into the gear, but it's very cool, and the elevation actually stays really well. It doesn't usually shift too much up and down. Then there's another gear right here, which affects the left and right. Again, it's not by much, but this blaster's pretty accurate, so you don't really need to get it to stay that much. Yes, because the new Rival rounds are more accurate, you know, accuracy series. Anyways, so that is the adjustable sight. If you do prime and shoot the blaster enough, eventually your sight picture will change. It's not a perfect system. It's easily manipulatable because these gears aren't super strong, but it works better than the Forerunner, so if you really like the gimmick of being able to change how your sight looks, then this blaster is probably a lot better for you than your Forerunner. But again, I will get into the comparison in the second half of this video. Now down to the trigger area, you have a trigger safety. Most Rival blasters have a trigger safety, but again, in my opinion, I think they're quite useless. But it's out of the way, so keep it in fire mode. Prime, shoot, it's not going to get into your way. So yeah, that is the trigger safety. If you want it, it's there. If you don't touch it. Then you have the trigger. Again, no slam fire, but it's a pretty comfortable trigger. It works quite well. This little gap under here sometimes gets a little annoying, but other than that, I don't think it will bother you. It's a very comfortable trigger as well as a very comfortable grip, which I usually don't complain about. I don't really care. My hands are not massive, so usually a smaller grip doesn't bother me, and this blaster doesn't bother me at all. It is a pretty big grip. I wouldn't recommend this blaster for anyone under the age of 13, though it should be stated that Rival isn't meant for people under the age of 13. But yeah, it's nice, it fits well, it's comfortable, it's nice and smooth, and other than that, it's nice. It's a foregrip. No, not foregrip. It's a handle, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is the stock area. It's not adjustable. It's just a basic Nerf stock, meaning that it's too small. But yeah, it does work. This blaster actually has a stock. When I get to the comparison with the Forerunner, that will be very important. But yeah, non-adjustable, nothing you can do with it. It works. It's a little bit short, but this has more of an SMG feel than a rifle feel. So I understand why they didn't make it super long. But again, Nerf stocks are usually quite short. On this side and on the other side, you have the priming indicator. When you prime the blaster, it turns orange, and when it's not primed, it's yellow. So you can know when your blaster is primed or not primed, so if you don't want to look inside the barrel or shoot it at something to tell. And then other than that, one more thing I should note about the blaster is the fit and finish. This blaster is very well made. They added this wood texture. It cannot show up on camera for the life of me, but they added a very, very faint wood texture to certain parts of this blaster, like this streak right here, and the parts that are like non-functioning. They added this nice wood-lined texture, which is really nice, and it makes it feel very nice in the hands and look at and comfortable. I love the appearance of this blaster, so if that matters to you, there is that. And the lines are really well done. It's throughout most of the blaster, most of the blue parts. But other than that, that's the blaster overview. Now this blaster on the chronograph is roughly shooting 90 FPS, which is totally acceptable as the Rival standard, between 90 and 100 FPS. I have owned this blaster for over a year, and the spring doesn't, and I don't keep my blasters primed, before I make this statement. The spring has gotten a little bit weaker over time, but that might just be because of the excessive use. That will happen with Nerf blasters over time. It's still shooting roughly 90 FPS, which is perfect for a Rival blaster. And yeah, it's a pretty nice, decent, solid blaster. I would recommend, if you are interested in Rival, and you are interested in a magazine-powered, or spring-powered magazine-fed blaster, then I would totally recommend the Pathfinder. It works well. It does as advertised. The gimmick works better in this blaster than the other blasters. And it's pretty nice and fit and finish. You'll feel good using this blaster because it feels like a primary other than a side pistol, which a lot of the other guns in the series, other than the Forerunner, which I'll get to, do feel like secondaries more than primaries. This is the first primary they released in the series. It was released last year. So you might have a hard time finding it on shelves, but I bought mine at Walmart, where I also bought the Forerunner, and this cost me roughly $50, so $5 more than the Forerunner. But anyways, if you're interested, check your local stores. They might have it. Thank you so much for watching this portion of the review. If you do not care about the comparison whatsoever, then you can leave the video right now. Thank you so much for watching. Like and comment, subscribe, yada yada yada. But now I will be doing a compare and contrast between these two blasters. If you have not seen my review on the Forerunner, please check it out. I will not be doing another overview of it. But yeah, basically, pump action, internal magazine, 12 rounds, same safety, same everything, same firing, no slam fire, but it's a completely different format. So which blaster would be better for which scenario? Starting off with the Pathfinder. If you like Rival, and you have tons of Rival magazines, and you honestly love the spring-powered blaster, you like the format of pump action, then I would recommend that you get the Pathfinder over the Forerunner. Because since it's magazine-fed, if you already own several magazines, being able to switch magazines rather than loading the blaster one by one with an internal magazine is totally going to be better for you in the long run, especially if you're going through longer games. Because magazines, when they're out of your body, are also quite easy to reload, considering that they're balls you just shove them in. I just loaded 4 into that magazine quite easily. And this blaster also has a stock, which is very important for accuracy. If you are trying to truly go for the pure accuracy route, then having a stock is perfect. You need a stock to be super accurate. I don't know why the Forerunner doesn't have one, or at least doesn't have an end strike attachment for stock, but whatever. This blaster works pretty well for it if you like magazines. But now we get to the Forerunner. So why do I recommend the Forerunner? Well, if you are in a shorter war where you're not going to be playing Nerf as long, or if you are going to be able to scavenge for balls more than having a big bulky loadout, if you're living off the land while playing Nerf, then I would totally recommend the Forerunner, because an internal magazine means that you can prime it back, be loading balls, someone comes around the corner, shoot them. Because when you're fiddling with a magazine, you're going to have a longer time to put in that magazine, then prime it, than you would if you just had it primed, loading, see someone shoot them. So you're going to have that quicker reaction time, and if you are playing in a Nerf war where you do not like carrying a bunch of gear on you because you want to be lightweight, you just want to be going around super quick, priming, shooting, reacting to whatever goes on around you, then the Forerunner could be a lot better for you because you do not need to carry magazines with this. At most, you could have a dump pouch or just be picking off balls off the ground, and the Rifle Forerunner works perfectly for that. So, I would totally recommend the Rifle Forerunner for shorter indoor wars where you're not going to be playing for hours at a time, wars where you do not want to carry items on you like magazines, or wars that you'll be foraging off the land a lot, or wanting to have a very light, sleek loadout. The only disbenefit to this blaster is, again, it doesn't have a stock, which means that you can't shoulder it, and you can't really aim it very well because you don't have anything to adjust to your shoulder to get follow-up shots to be more accurate. So you're mostly going to be shooting from the hip, which may or may not be for you. Also, check out the Rival Takedown. I forgot to mention it in the original review. The Takedown is very similar to this blaster, and it also carries less than this blaster, but it's also slightly smaller, and in my opinion has a more comfortable grip. That's what it's called. It's called a grip. Earlier in the video, I couldn't figure out what a grip was called. But yeah, that is the Nerf Rival Forerunner. Comparing it to this blaster, personally, I use the Forerunner. Most of my wars are very short. I only play for like 30 minutes at a time, and I do it usually indoors. And so the Forerunner works very well for what I like doing, because I can just pick up some balls off the ground, shoot, and usually I only do it in 5-minute spurts over that 30-minute period. So I have a little bit of time to reload and talk with people, whoever I'm doing a war with, and then continue onward. But I do like the fit and finish of the Pathfinder more. So hopefully that is enough for you to make an educated decision on what you want to buy in Nerf in this category. Hopefully Nerf continues this line, because this line is very cool. I enjoy this Nerf line. I am willing to pay a little bit extra to have accurate rounds with accurate blasters with very good ergonomics. I'm willing to do that, and I really hope they continue this line. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm planning on adding music in the background to most of my videos. If you do not want music, or you think that it would be better without music, leave a comment below. I'm curious, and have a fantastic day.